Take your place on my wall of fame by supporting me. Thank you, my nerd. Look, my dear nerds, I will say the most biggest truth you probably heard today. Getting handhelds is literally like having kids, and I'm not I'm not even joking. You see, here's how I imagine it. When you have kids, let's say you have two kids, right? Deep down, you want to love them both in equal amounts. But you can't, because your brain doesn't work like that. You have a favorite, you hate that you have a favorite, but you experience both of them and you realize at one point that one of them is gonna have its college paid for and one of them will get that extra parenting time and the other will have to probably, work most of its life in, even though it's kind of better and less spoiled. And here we are, I'm taking that same dilemma, that same situation and transposing it to handhelds. We have flippy boys right now. The retro handheld community is overflowing with flippy boys. And we need to decide, we need to finally get an idea of which one of these handhelds is our favorite. You see, we have quite a few differences here, and I think most people don't really know about them, and they need to find out about them because these two handhelds, in my humble opinion, couldn't be more different even though they look kind of similar. At first glance, if you look at the Miyoo Flip and the Anbernic RG35XXSP, you think, how different can they be? Well, I'm gonna tell you. Before I do this, however, I want to quickly say that this Miyoo Flip was provided to me by the nice guys at Go Gaming Geek. I'm gonna leave links to both of these handhelds in the video description in case after this video you want to pick up this one or this one, but there's only one clear winner here, so stick around for that. Now on to the physical comparison. My dear nerds, you might think that these two are of somewhat similar size, but you cannot be more wrong. In the hand, the Miyoo Flip feels immensely more luxurious, asterisk here, than the Anbernic because it's smaller. It's not smaller by a lot. Let me just try to align them here. So it's just the Miyoo Flip is just a tiny bit smaller here, but it's way less thicker, which matters immensely, and it's way less wide, like quite a bit less wide than the Anbernic RG35XXSP, and this translates into way more freaking pocketability. And this is my point. This is my point with handhelds. You either make them pocketable, my chair is swiveling too much, or you make them awesome. And these kind of handhelds need to be freaking pocketable almost always. And with these two, I think that the Anbernic totally fails the, let's say, pocketability test. Now, is it pocketable? Yeah, technically you can shove it in a pocket. It's basically a block. People would think that you are in Minecraft and you're happy to see them with this in your pocket. But if you carry around the Miyoo Flip, you actually wouldn't feel, well, you would still feel, but you wouldn't feel as encumbered, as inconvenienced than how you would feel with the Anbernic RG35XXSP. And that's kind of my takeaway here. We need to concentrate, in my opinion, on three things. The first one is how it feels in the hand. Mandatory giggity. I make myself laugh in these videos. It's very important that you like how it feels when you actually interact with the device. Now, you must keep in mind that you might be a different type of retro nostalgic nerd than me. You might want to not carry your handheld around. I have this fantasy that I'm out and about and I would just casually take this out of my pocket and bam, and I would start playing. And then I would close it and just continue on with my day. But you might be the kind of person that might only enjoy his or her retro games, on the couch. And in that sense, the Anbernic RG35XXH is a way better device, in my own humble opinion. You see, now that we kind of broke the ice with which one of these feels better in the hand, remember that asterisk that I made earlier? I made that asterisk because there's multiple levels to this, my dear nerds. The Miyoo Flip gets a ton of points from me for being pocketable, but not for feeling like it's a really high quality device. For that, the Anbernic RG35XXSP simply has it beat. It's as simple as that. The plastic feels better, the hinge doesn't give me any sort of anxiety. I can use it as a, stress relief fidget spinner like device. I wouldn't care. This feels like it wouldn't break. And even the transparent white that I have here, I think it looks kind of cool. Now, with this one, we all heard about the drama, especially with the gray Miyoo Flip. Look at the seam over here, it keeps wanting to open on me. And the gray Miyoo Flip, even with version 2, has been known for having hinge problems. Now, this hasn't happened to the Anbernic RG35XXSP. Yeah, sure, a couple of them allegedly caught fire and it was awful, but, the hinge is nice and flip and flip devices are all about the hinge. So with the hinge and with the overall plastic and build quality, the Anbernic clearly detached wins. Since I have way more color options, I thought it would be a good idea to bring in more color options here. I haven't turned on the white model specifically because I plan a dedicated video on this. There's actually some... Oh my god, my camera blows it out. I actually have some exciting custom firmware developments for the Flip, which I want to cover in a video with this little guy right here. But when it comes to color options, bear in mind there's a lot more RG35XXSPs, aka Flippy Boys, Flippy Boy color options out there than Snappy Boys. If you watched my previous videos, I call the Miyoo Flip the Snappy Boy because the hinge... Wait a second. Because the hinge makes this snapping sound like... Wait. Do you hear? Whereas... Anbernic RG35XXSP is silent as... a hill. Silent Hill? No? Not my best joke. I truly think when it comes to these two specific models, we need to clearly think long and hard about what are our priorities. When it comes, since I mentioned custom firmware, I should also put a big mention here that the Flippy Boys, aka the Anbernic RG35XXSP, has a ton of custom firmware. You have Nuli, you have my favorite Miyoo OS team. You are... Where the heck is my heart? You are here. And you simply have support for the entire lifetime of the device because those custom firmwares aren't going anywhere. Now, custom firmwares also appeared for the Flip. This is important to say. It's just that you don't have that big of a variety. However, the Snappy Boys will receive Spruce, which is amazing. And there's also another custom firmware, which I'm gonna showcase here, but we're gonna talk about that one in the next Flip video. By the way, as a quick parenthesis, can I just mention that the Vlad Nerd edition, which I customized myself, still holds on, even though it's the first version. The battery hasn't really expanded yet, maybe a bit. I'm not really sure, maybe it's me putting the sticker there. But yeah, it still hasn't burned my house down, so I guess this is good. I don't think it will. It's a joke, people, it's a joke. Look at how pretty the Vladnerd edition is. Like, this is my pride and joy when it comes to flippies, because... Now, I could show you what they can play, but the TLDR is that all of them can play a bit of PSP and a bit of Dreamcast and everything below, so just keep in mind that their performance, even though they have different SoCs, their performance is somewhat similar. However, and this is very important for me personally, it might not be important for you because you're a heathen and you have no excuse, but the fact that the Miyoo Flips have sticks, I think this is a freaking game changer. Not only is the Miyoo Flip way more portable, like I made a big case out of this earlier, but the fact that you also have sticks, like the audacity of this, in a good way, you know, this is amazing. You might tell me, Vlad, why do you need sticks on such a compact device? Well, for plenty of reasons. Arcade is a good example. Arcade is one of the systems which our nostalgia, our memories, were always with a stick controlling the character in Cadillacs and Dinosaurs or whichever other. And I am simply upset at the fact that even though the Anbernic RG35XXSP is bigger, it has no freaking sticks. And yes, before you're gonna tell me, I know about the new upcoming RG34XXSP, the one that's, well, let's be honest, a Miyoo Flip clone. I'm gonna reserve my thoughts on that until I have it in hand. But the TLDR with that one, from my early thoughts, remember I didn't even have a hands-on with that, is I hate the top bezel on top of the screen. They wanted to do a 3x2 screen, and yet they didn't want to make the device smaller. And I always say, give us as much screen real estate as possible. I don't care the compromise. We need screen real estate. As big of a screen in as small of a body. That, my dear Anbernic and Miyoo, and in case anyone from these companies watches me, that makes for a successful device. That makes us open our wallets like people open your Flip, aka very easily. Oh, and this is actually very important since I mentioned bezels. I just want to say that I personally am not a fan of how the Anbernic RG35XXSP has double bezels. You see, you have the plastic bezel and then you have the screen bezel itself. Now I understand why they did this. They did this because they didn't want to focus more on the design, I guess. By contrast, the Flip was delayed into eternity. I think we waited for the Flip for more than 2 years. I know I've waited for the Flip for a long time before I actually started this YouTube channel with Vladnerd. That's how much we waited. But we got at least this awesome improvement where the screen bezel, this black one, is cleverly hidden behind the plastic frame itself. So instead of making a bigger device by exposing both bezels, you only have one bezel, which is technically a double bezel, but it's so cleverly engineered, so cleverly made, this top part I mean, that whenever I open it up and I use it, I think of a way more polished, way more refined device. This also gets reflected in the fact that it's thinner and it still has freaking sticks. So I don't want to repeat myself, but Obviously, both of them have advantages and disadvantages over the other. So, my dear nerds, I have come to a conclusion on which one I shall recommend. But that conclusion comes with a question to you first. Which kind of nerd are you? Are you the kind of person that wants to use him, hers, their handheld forever, for many, many years? Do you want to eventually mod it, replace the battery, buy batteries of, I don't know, AliExpress to make it new after a few years? Or do you live in the moment and you just want, in my own humble opinion, an overall better feeling device, even though the plastic is cheaper? Don't forget this, the plastic is cheaper, but it feels better in the hand. Do you want to live in the moment with this? Or do you want something that can last you for almost a guaranteed more amount of time, like I need more hands, like this? That's the dilemma right here. Personally, how should I put this? If I were to only use one of them, I think I would go for the Anbernic. Even though I really miss sticks. Each time, my dear nerds, each time I used the Anbernic RG35XXSP, or for that matter, any device, I'm not even exaggerating, any device without sticks makes me miss the fact that it could have had sticks. There's simply too many consoles. Let's remember, okay? Let me be like god awful truthful to you right now. These are not Game Boys. This is not a Game Boy Advance SP, okay? This is an emulation device. This is a Swiss Army knife. And this as well, I'm talking about handhelds in general. These are general purpose devices. They are meant to emulate everything in the kitchen sink. Inside these devices lies the souls of many handhelds before them. So they should be a good Swiss Army knife. They should be able to be very, very dynamic, very adaptable. And for that, you need sticks, and you also need, ideally, as many input methods as you can cram in these things. So that's kind of my point. In the short term, I can give you guarantees how much the hinge will last on the flip. All I can say is that in terms of me being a human with pesky human organic emotions and pesky human likes, I catch myself enjoying my time more with the Miyoo Flip than with the Anbernic RG35XXSP. Even though you can tell that I used this in my personal time because I took time to mod it, to personalize it, to make it my own. So that's my thoughts on this, my dear nerds. I wanted to make a quick video. Let me know what you think. By the way, another reminder, in case you want any of these, I will leave links in the video description. Those are affiliate links. There's also a code there, so you get a discount. And if you buy from those links, you also help the channel out. Now, I want to put more time in the channel, so your support matters a whole lot. You can also become either a Patreon or a channel member, and you get your beautiful face on my wall of supporters, which I feature at the beginning of each and every video. And also, if you want to chat more directly with me and you want to be part of an awesome, actually awesome, like no exaggeration, group of nerds, then I have a Discord. The link is in my video description. Join over there, we help each other out, we make each other laugh. That whole group is like a big hug. I freaking love it. And yeah, maybe you should come over there and say hi. But in the meantime, if you don't want to join my Discord, then we'll talk like this. It's a bit of a one-sided conversation. But still, in any case, I'll see you in the next video, my dear nerd. Don't forget I love you very much. Nerd kisses.